It's not physically in the sky, the technology, but its effects and visual representations are in the sky. So what we're seeing in the sky are effects from technology in the underworld. If you look on our map and grid, you'll see 6 concentric circles. These circles have nodes on them, and they're what create the stars. Well, you see, they're actually seeing various nodes on halos. That's what stars are. So you've seen.
What are they made of?
Well, the entity in the sky is it's the spirit of the real thing in the underworld. Electromagnetism is elevated in there, and it's rotating them. It's given that rotational appearance. East to west to rotation. It's actually west to east, but going so fast we perceive it to be east to west. Is what I.
Wagon wheel effect.
Yeah, I've decoded that before, and that's what we're really seeing. So we're seeing the effects of this technology at its pivot points of the north and south poles. So it's kind of like, imagine if people haven't seen our 144,000 video where I've done an animation of this. You could imagine a hamster ball that you're running inside of, and the 2 sides of it are on a pivot. That would be your north and south poles, so it's making the ball revolve east to west, isn't it? That's kind of what the stars are doing. Remove the ball but keep the stars, it's still doing the same motion. It's revolving. And one easy way to explain that to people, they talk about star rotation being different in the south to the north. They're not. They're all revolving the same direction. This is what the globe needs to survive. It needs an opposite rotation in the south. Well, there isn't one. Because the easiest way to explain it to someone, simply face west. Now look right to your north, and now get your arm and follow Polaris's rotation, which is counterclockwise. So your arm should be rotating counterclockwise. You can copy this as well, Junipers. You do it as well. So you got your right arm rotating counterclockwise. So it's like a half of a swimming motion, isn't it? You're swimming with one arm. Your arm should be doing that, revolving that direction. Which, back to front, you got west in front of you, east behind you. So it's revolving east to west. Now look south to your left, and now copy the Southern Star Trail rotations. Well, they revolve clockwise. So okay. Both arms should now still be moving in a swimming motion, like the butterfly stroke or the front crawl, east to west. Show me the opposite rotation in that. There isn't any. They're both revolving the same way.
Same way.
Aren't they?
I think, yeah.
You can't do it any other way. That's what the stars in the north and south are doing, and the ones above you are doing exactly the same. They're going east to west, visually. So that's an easy way to show you there is no counter-rotation of stars in the south. And all you were doing was just mimicking what the star trails in the north and south would actually do.
Do they return in the same way as the luminaries, sort of, because they're on a halo? Do they return?
Good question, because, what happens in the underworld? Do they switch off in the underworld as they go through the underworld? Because that revolution has to be a full circle to come back up again for the next night. That's a good question, and something we can't answer. We don't know if they shut down, or does it just keep doing it, and somewhere down in the underworld, they're going through the underworld as well?
Yeah.
We don't actually, we can't answer that, but it's a good question. Do they shut down as well as the other luminaries do, and it just carries on again? I don't know. Without exploration, I think I'd be struggling to answer that one. I can't prove that they shut down at night or not.
How many luminaries assist in maintaining and sustaining the creation process, would you say? How many have you identified, and do you think there's more? Or
luminaries?
Yes. We know we have the sun and the moon that you've decoded.
There's other things we have to factor in now because of this technology. Being technology that elevates, there's going to be things above this technology in the sky, above its effects in the sky, that's also stuck there as well.
Yeah.
Because this technology is not just moving around; it's creating matter as it's moving. You're shooting stars and things. That's matter being produced by this technology, and it's just literally falling out of the sky. That's what you're seeing. You're shooting stars and meteors and things like that. This is matter being produced by this technology in the atmosphere, and it's just dropping out the sky, and we're calling them shooting stars. It's, it's part of the creation process. I
We
forgot
just
what the question
we,
was
we
now, but yeah, that's what the
how many luminaries assist in maintaining and sustaining the creation
the
process?
stars are all rotating as one unit. When you look at it, you do that with your arms. What I showed you, they're all operating as one unit. The stars, all of them are operating as one unit.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
something is controlling all of them at the same time.
I always imagine it like like we used to play skip rope sort of thing. One person would hold that end of the rope, and somebody would hold the other end, and then you just rotate. And then I always
Yeah,
imagine the
well,
stars
that's
like that.
perfect. Yeah, a skipping rope. That's perfect the way of doing it. You're skipping. That's exactly what the stars are doing. That's perfect. I don't know why I didn't use the skipping rope. That's even easier than using the arms. Just get a
There
skipping
you
rope.
go. I know.
Start skipping. That's what your stars are doing.
There you
And
go.
you'll notice that your hands have to work in unison. So there's no counter rotation of arm there, is there, to emulate what the stars are doing?
Mm.
Excellent.
And
Good.
the stars are
Yeah.
on that rope. And if there's multiple ropes, sort of thing, that's how I
Yeah, well,
visualize.
the six that I've overlaid on the grid, there might be even more than that. We don't know what's beyond what we've got anyway. There might be more outside of that, and that's why there appears to be even more up there than what you would imagine just coming from six. But until someone tells me how many star trails are in between Polaris and Polaris Australis in the south, if you can count the star trails from there to there, that'll give you a number. Now double it, and that'll tell you how many nodes we've got on that halo. I know it's going to be a lot. But
How long
yeah.
do you think it would take?
Well, no one's ever told me that number, so and I haven't got the time to sit there counting them. But there's not just one set is the thing. There's I've added six there that do the same kind of process. They all have to be in the same kind of process. If they're all running at the same time, I'm not sure. There might just be one running at the moment. There might be more to see yet, or less. That's the beauty of this. There's still surprises to come.
Exactly. Revelation.
Yeah.
Can you give an insight into the roles of each luminary? Like, I know the sun and the moon that you can start your decodes with, and you may have some more info on other luminaries. You may not, but
Well, they've all got secondary processes going on. Yeah, the sun, it gives us daylight and such. But it's also producing, elements and things off the elemental chart, and it'll be a certain frequency that they're producing them at. So they're all working together, but they're all doing completely different roles and processes, it seems to me. They look the same technology, but each one of them is doing something different. Now, you can go back to the main, the gods of the main creation story, because it tells you in there, the seven gods that were always at war with each other, but one day they decided to work together because they realised together they can create. And that's a lovely creation story, because that's what they're all doing. They're all creating and stitching this world together. And, we need to identify what role is each one doing in the ether and in the underworld, and even in the heavens, I suppose. They're all doing something very special connected to creation. They're not just ornaments. They're all doing, something important.
elements
Yeah,
mainly.
yeah. All the elements and things like that have to come into it. They create the elements. So, which ones are creating which, and at what locations. All this has to come into it, and not just them ones. They're the moving ones. Then you've got all the rainbows local everywhere. They're all doing the same kind of processes.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot going on, isn't there? A lot more than meets the eye. You
Yeah,
wouldn't,
it's
you can look outside and think, well, all that's going on, but I'm not seeing it with my eyes. Well, until you start decoding the rainbows, you're not going to see anything. You've got to decode your local rainbows and watch how they create your weather and things. Then you can get a better idea of how this world works.
the watchers, huh?
Yeah, watch them. Watch them, study them. That's what we tell people. Go out and study your rainbows. There's more to them than meets the eye. We might find even more information using the Rainbow Warrior program, because people are coming to it with new ideas and new avenues of exploration might just start appearing, and even better, we go further. But we can only go
Yeah.
so far, remember, because we're going to get to a point where we run out of things to decode, which might take 1,000 years. That it's going to take a long time. But we can never know all this. That's the beauty of it. I don't want to know all this. I know I can't know all this. It's impossible to know all this. There's too much. I'm quite happy with what I've learned already, and that is a tremendous amount.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah.
And would you say that our brains can hold all that info?
Oh yeah,
Or is it our
easy,
heart?
easy, very easy. It surprises me how much can be stored in the human mind. It
Yeah.
really does.
Massive processes.
But when you find this, you can now cut out the bullshit. All the bullshit just vanishes. So you can get rid of that out of your brain and make some room for the good stuff, can't you?
Yeah, the synapses
Because
go where they need to go.
currently cradle to grave, our minds are getting filled with bullshit. So time to shovel that out and get the good stuff in, isn't it? We
Absolutely.
need to, reabsorb what our ancestors knew, find out what they teach. Everything like that has to come back, because that was when everything was sacred and pure.
Connections. Finding those connections again, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and we've got to unite to do it, people. Put your differences aside and come and work with us.
absolutely. Yeah.
We'll guide you
When,
till, what we'll do is, like we do with anyone that joins us, we'll guide them to where they can start doing this themselves, and they can teach their friends, and the whole world will know about it in quick time.
it's standing in your own power, um, learning, the fact that, or relearning the fact that you're your own powerhouse, and that, you shouldn't be looking elsewhere, um, to find the knowledge of this earth. I don't mean with APM, I mean, looking at, um, sycophantic worship, even to government or whatever. But yeah, everybody needs to stand on their own 2 feet and own this, don't they?
Yeah,
They need to start
yes.
owning it.
They need to take ownership of this. It's your birthright, people.
Yeah.
We're fighting for you and the Creator. That's what we're doing. This is what we're about. This, for us, this is decoding this, live research, decoding investigation into how this world works and who created it. That's the most important thing to know and look into, in my opinion. Not Tartari and things like this. No, this is the most important thing. Who created this and how it works, and why has it been hidden from us? Not just hidden, why has it been stolen from us? This is our birthright.
Yeah.
People want free energy. We've already got it. Just stop paying your bills. Because
Yes.
this electric is free. It's already here.
Mhm.
And man doesn't own it. Who dares take ownership of this?
Mhm.
That's where you've got them. You cannot take
That's
ownership of
water in
this.
the air now. Yeah.
You can't reverse engineer this and just take ownership of it. Sorry, this is not yours. This is the Creator's, and that's something very precious and sacred to everyone, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Wanted to know how the sun produces heat, and does it permeate from below in a rising fashion? But I know you were saying about the heat. Um,
Yeah, they emit cold and heat. Plus, it's induction and conduction. You've got induction taking place and conduction. It's the induction that creates the heat, just like your induction stove on a cooker.
okay, so you
That's
turn it.
Eve is the inductor and Adam's the conductor.
Okay.
So between them, they do that magical mix of electromagnetism. That's where the heat comes from. Like I said a bit earlier, Adam creates the heat. The electric is what's creating the heat.
And what do they do when they're together?
Create lightning. They create
So they
lightning.
create.
Yeah, well, they create the sun actually. If you want to see how bright a spark they can create, just look at the sun, because that is produced from the fusion reaction of Adam and Eve's positive and negative electric. That is electricity arcing out onto a steel ball down below. That's, well, some type of metal ball, I'm assuming